Now, we must admit, she did hit some good points, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. It just doesn't mean that we should be telling time by that clock. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience, and I am Patience. In today's video, we are going to be reacting to a video that was posted on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, so I caught on to this conversation when it came on YouTube and Instagram. Let's just say this is a conversation we've been having for a long time in the natural hair community, but even longer in Black communities all around the world. This is not just an American thing. This is a whole African diaspora conversation about Black women in hair. I mean, it's mostly Black people in hair in general, but specifically with Black women in hair, because we all know that hair and women is big across all racial groups, but it's extremely a whole other level in the Black community. So we are going to go over this video, we're going to listen to it, and I'm going to break it down. But I think at first we should at least give her the opportunity to say everything she needs to say without any sort of interruption, and then I'll come back and give my opinion.
First of all, you know it's not the same. White women bleaching their hair or straightening their hair is not the same as what we do. And I'm gonna go there. So I know this is going to pretend they don't understand what I'm saying. This woman talked about how she had a head full of natural hair. Most Black women do not have long hair. They do not have long natural hair. Black hair does not grow. It does not grow at the same speed as other races. If you are one of the unicorns where you can cut your hair one day and in 2 months or 3 months you got inches, you know you're a rare breed. When we cut our hair, that's it. It's going to take a little while for it to grow. Damage or undamaged. Drinking water and not drinking water. Why do you think one of the major ways to make money is to sell Black women growth oils? Even from Madam C.J. Walker to right now, you want to make a quick buck, sell a growth oil. Our hair does not grow like that. It doesn't. And I'm going to go here. I do not look feminine with natural hair. Then coupled with the fact that the hair doesn't grow as fast, no. Some women have the confidence, they have the beauty to be able to pull off a short natural. I do not. And I think most Black women do not. They do not. And for a lot of, I know me, I feel prettier with wigs or straight hair. I feel prettier. I feel more feminine with hair, wearing hair that mimics another race of people. And I know that's a shame, and I know that's some internalized self-hate, but listen, my eyes aren't fooling me. I don't look, okay? I don't look that good in any style, but definitely when my hair looks what it looks like, natural. You know how some men, Black men, they like a woman natural in theory, but if you put her side by side with a woman with a wig, they would choose a woman with the wig. I think a lot of Black women are on that type of tip. We like our hair natural in theory. You know, we should like it in theory. We like it better on somebody else, but when it comes to us, we do not look feminine. You know, we do not look pretty. And the Black community knows that we have those self-esteem issues. The Black men and Black women, they know we have these insecurities around our hair. And instead of letting us be great, what do? Taunt and pick. And knowing everything that we're going through. Knowing that, for real, I don't want to wear straight. I don't want to wear straight hair. But I don't look good with my natural hair. And the natural wigs, they look like, you know, who done it and why. I'm not trying to go to work looking like Mufasa. So I'm sorry if I let the cat out of the bag and I explain too much, but this is it. And y'all need to stop. Listen, it'll never change. Okay? So y'all can harass us. You can belittle us. You can talk about the hard wig versus the soft wig. That's one thing. We don't care. Y'all can put it to bed. The Black community thrives off of abuse. The Black community thrives off of abuse and trauma. Okay? And so, you know, it is what it is.
I was trying not to overreact. I let her have her piece, her say. Hopefully now I can have mine. There are a lot of things that she said that obviously you would know that I don't agree with because I'm sitting here with my natural hair. I don't want to rush too much onto her points, but let's try to break it down and see what she said. A lot of things wrong, maybe some right things that she did say, and what we can learn from this. Because this conversation keeps happening. I would say at least a couple of times a year we have this discussion. Last time I did a video on the lady who said don't bring natural hair to her event. That was the first reaction video I did like this. I've seen so many others that I did not react to that I've not been, but I think once in a while it's good to address this. What I realize is that there is value in talking to people around my age, people who are younger, and even older folks, even though I don't know how much impact I can have on them. If one or two hears this and it changes the way they see their natural hair, I think that is an amazing thing. Throughout the entire video, it was so sad to see the level of internalized self-hate that she has. And I'm not saying she has internalized self-hate because she's wearing a wig. I'm not saying she has internalized self-hate because she just doesn't like her natural hair. It's the way she even talked about it. She has this this level of hatred almost towards her natural hair goes beyond just it being hair. You can tell by her tone, by the way she was saying what she was saying, that it's beyond that. This is a lifelong struggle for her, and I don't know her age. She looks like she might be in her 40s, maybe a little older, 40s, 50s I'll give her. And this is such a long life to have gone through without coming to at least some level of balance in the way you see your natural hair and the way you see wigs and weaves. Now, as a person who's never worn wigs, weave extensions, and it's not because I hate them, it's just I've not found it necessary. It doesn't mean I'll never wear one. It just means I'm never going to prefer hair that's not mine over what God gave me. I'm not. And this goes back to what I said in my natural hair movement, natural hair community video about the wigification of the natural hair movement, which is a word that I made. It made me cringe a little bit when I saw this trend of so many wigs in the natural hair community. Not because I think wigs and weaves are wrong, but because of the premise of the natural hair and what it was meant to show, what it was meant to do for the Black community. And I think we regressed a little bit when we started putting in so much wigs and weaves as a form of protective styling. I just took my hair out of protective style actually, and it was mini braids. Mini braids I do with my own natural hair. You couldn't torture me enough to say that I prefer the hair of other races of people over my own hair. You couldn't, because for me it's not true. And this conversation, what she said, shows that it goes beyond just the protective styles. It goes beyond the natural hair is a lot of maintenance. It goes beyond the excuses that some people give. Some people just don't like their natural hair. And I've actually heard people say stuff like natural hair isn't for everybody. I don't know how that couldn't be, because that's the hair that God gives you. Now, does it come with challenges when you don't know what to do? Sure. But that's the great thing about learning. We can always learn. And something that really concerned me as she was talking was a lot of we don't look feminine. We don't like our natural hair. The Black community knows how we feel. And I kept thinking, who is we, ma'am? Who is we? Stop putting in everybody to justify the fact that you don't like your natural hair. I actually like my natural hair. And I have a whole video talking about how I grew it. And I'll go into that when she talks about the length and the growth rate. I don't think you should be saying something like we, because it's gonna make other Black women who are going through a tough journey with their natural hair to then be like, oh well, this is how all Black women feel, then I should also feel that way, or it's okay for me to feel that way. It's not. Especially when you're also talking to the younger folks who are really impressionable and could take this as Black people don't like their natural hair, I guess I'm not supposed to like mine. That's just wrong. There's no we in this. This is about you. And it's okay for you to talk about your struggles, your trauma, but stop trying to put down other Black women. And I'm happy to say that I can't relate to a lot of what she's saying. And I can't relate to her statements of Black hair doesn't grow, because you can see that my hair obviously grew. Now, is it going to grow in a few months when she's talking about people who cut off their hair and in a few months they have inches? Not even other races of people really have it. People who cut off their hair and in a year they have like 12 inches of hair is very rare. I think it was officially said to be 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch every single month. So you're looking at 3 to 9 inches. Very few people are cutting off all their hair despite their race and having hair down their back at the end of the year. I used to cut my hair all the time, and I started my hair growth journey August of 2018. Now, almost 6 years later, this is where my hair is at. And you can go look at my other videos. I had a whole video of my natural hair journey. I did a whole 5-year breakdown, and I showed you pictures and pictures and pictures. But some people think, well, it has to be your genetic, it has to be that you're, I should call the unicorn. But no, ma'am, it took 6 years. That's just what it is. It takes time. I've never seen anybody who grew their hair this long in a matter of months. Like I said, mine's 6 years in the making. And I'm sure if you went on a natural hair journey and you put in time, dedication, learn more about your hair, in 6 years, you could probably have a similar length as well, just like anybody else out there. But the idea that black hair doesn't grow is simply not true. There is no evidence that backs that up. And even with your hair, or with anybody else out there, if you have permed hair, for example, you have to go get it permed over and over again because your hair is growing. The reason why you're not seeing the length is because you're not retaining length. Your hair is breaking because of bad practices. And with the way you feel about your hair, I doubt you're putting in a lot of love and care into your natural hair. I do that. I sit down, I detangle gently, I find the best products, I read ingredients to make sure I'm putting in good care for my hair. I'm very intentional about what I do with my hair. I don't force it to look like what it would never look like. I've accepted the way my hair looks a long time ago. When it started growing, I didn't know what to expect because I'd never grown out my hair before. And whatever God was going to give me was exactly what I was going to accept. And I have type 4 hair, type 4C hair. I know it may look looser right now, but it's because it's in a stretch state. And also because as your hair grows, it falls. And it's not easy, but neither is caring for your wigs or weaves and extensions. All of that costs money. My natural hair is semi-high maintenance. I found different ways as time has gone on to make it as low maintenance as it gets. I just took it out of mini braids that were in for 4 weeks. And for 4 weeks, I did barely anything. I was going to gym almost every single day. I'll just wash it several times, making sure it's moisturized. And that's it. On most days, I spend no time on my hair. And that's what you can get when you take the time to figure out what works best for your hair, the routines that works best for your hair. Then she goes on to say she doesn't look feminine, or black women don't look feminine in natural hair. Exhibit A? Ma'am, speak for yourself. Like I said, who is we? I think the complete opposite. I think you and any other race of women look most feminine in their natural state, or in whatever state that they want to be. It has nothing to do with your natural hair doesn't make you look feminine. It depends on the style that you do it. Women are already feminine. Let's stop trying to do this feminine, masculine whole confusion that's going on in the world. No, if you're a woman, you're feminine. That's it. Like, what are we debating about? So are you talking about looking feminine in the most natural state of femininity, or are you talking about looking feminine in a Eurocentric beauty standard? As a black woman, I just know that I would never succeed or thrive in a Eurocentric standard of beauty. I'm just trying to be the best person that I can be, true to my almost authentic self. I can only be the best Patience and look like the best Patience that Patience can be. I'm not comparing myself to what other women, especially what other races of women, look like. You get nothing. If you are a woman, a black woman who wants to compete in Eurocentric beauty standard, you're always gonna not be up to par. You can never hit 100. If I was trying to go for that, I would never be white enough. My hair would never be straight enough. I would have to keep doing it over and over again, and I'm still never gonna reach there. I'm never going to fit the body ideal enough. It's gonna be a lifelong struggle. Try to just focus on who you are and make the best of what you have, and be the best version of who you can be. Be fit, drink water, eat healthy, take care of your hair, take care of your skin, take care of yourself, have self-care. Those will go further in life than trying to compete in somewhere where you're not even wanted. When you were made who you were, it wasn't by mistake. And I just hope that she's not imparting this onto, if she has children, into the young ladies around her. And if you feel prettier in wigs, I think that's a struggle within yourself that you have to deal with. Don't impose that on every other black woman, because we don't have the same life as you. Some of us have already done the work of accepting who we are. I personally didn't really ever have a problem with my hair. It was just that I was never taught how to do it. So I had to go on my own journey at 18 years old to figuring out what works for me. I like the way my hair looks. Go on the journey and do your self work to be okay with that. And if that means you're gonna stay in wigs, it's okay. What does that have to do with me? I would prefer if you were able to go on a natural hair journey, appreciate your hair in its most natural form, but at the end of the day, it's you. But just don't put that on other black women. And some things I definitely didn't like was the Mufasa comment about the natural hair wigs. I actually think the natural hair wigs are getting so much better. Natural hair wig is something I would definitely like to try in the future. Like I said, I'm not big on wigs right now. Who knows? I may want to try that in the future. But to have that Mufasa comment, I thought was very unnecessary. When we know the social climate that we're in and the comparison of black men to animals, it was very unnecessary. I don't think you should have done that. And to say it would never change, it has already changed. The change has been going on since the natural hair movement. Now, I think we went back a little bit, but when I open my For You page, it's full of black women who are taking care of their hair, long, short, all in between. People who have been on the journey for 5 months, people who've been on the journey for 5 years or 15 years. It's absolutely changing. So please don't say it will never change. You may never want to change, but it's changing. And I'm very happy about that. Now, we must admit, she did hit some good points, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. It just doesn't mean that we should be telling time by that clock. One of the points that she did make was that natural hair takes time to grow. That's true. Like all hair, it takes time to grow. My hair was not growing above average. It's pretty long now. I've been on an almost 6-year journey, and your hair is supposed to grow about 6 to 9 inches per year. You realize I wasn't even retaining all the length, plus trims, losing hair, sometimes breakage. It's a journey, just like other hairs. Now, the only thing that people can consider disadvantage with black hair is that we have shrinkage. As you can see, my hair did shrink up, and you can pull it down, but it's a shrinkage. So for the first year of me growing my hair, I actually didn't know my hair was growing that much. I was shocked when I went to go get my hair blow dried. The first time I was actually shocked that my hair was growing was the summer of 2019, when I started separating my hair into different sections and leaving it to dry. And I took it out and I was like, wow, my hair grew. So I went from having hair that was like this long, like almost all the way to my scalp, maybe an inch or so, to having about 2 inches, 3 inches of hair. And then I went on a trip. I told the story in my natural hair journey video, so go watch it for more detailed if you want that. But I went on a trip and I kept sections in and I took it out. It was like 4 inches of hair. I was like, where did all this hair come from? And then I went to go get it blown out, get a trim after the 1 year mark. And I was so shocked that my hair was growing because I never saw the hair growth because of shrinkage. So I could never truly see all of the growth of my hair. Even I had my first silk press in 2021, December. That was 3.5 years into me growing my hair. And I was shocked as to how long my hair was. Black hair may seem like it's not growing, but it is. As long as you're able to prevent the breakage, take good care of it, it is growing. She was truthful also about the selling black men hair growth oil. I do think that the partification of the natural hair movement and the natural hair community, something else I covered in my video of the natural hair movement, is very true. And I think people are using way too many products. Half of them are like unnecessary. You only need a simple hair routine, and I have a video on that. It's called the basic hair care routine. But you don't need 101 different products for your natural hair. You just don't. You need some basic hair care products and you're good. She also talks about liking natural hair in theory, but not in yourself. And I've seen that with people. There are people who would come up to me and compliment my hair, talk about it's really pretty, it must be a lot of hair. Well, they always ask, is that all your hair? And then a lot of them would want to touch it and like go in there because they think it's a natural hair wig or something. I don't know if they make the natural hair wigs in my texture, but I've seen some good ones. This is all natural. I do get that some people like it in theory, but they don't like it on themselves. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to dedicate the time. So it's understandable, and I think she did make a good point there. Like I said, a broken clock is right at least twice a day. A point that she hit on that was also truthful, but she's a participant in, was that the Black community thrives off of trauma and abuse. And funny enough, she was putting her trauma out there too, and a little bit of abuse. She has some trauma from her childhood, probably. Hearing people say that her natural hair was not good enough. And this is a point that a lot of Black people, especially in America, like to hit and miss. The people who tell you that your natural hair is not good enough, 9 times out of 10 are Black people. Now, do we see images on TV of Black people in wigs, weaves, perms, and everything but their natural hair? Sure, we see a lot of that. It's changing a little bit. But the people who come to your face and tell you that your natural hair is this, it's not good, it looks bad, is not done are Black people, because I've experienced it. I've experienced Black people tell my hair is not done. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, but she has that trauma and she carries it along. So letting it go, because I've definitely not allowed that to influence any of my life and my life choices. People have even suggested I perm my hair. Can you believe that? Not gonna happen. But all of that, she carried with her for years and years, and now she's putting it out there. The level of abuse that comes with saying that Black men do not look good with their natural hair, that Black women hate their natural hair, that's a form of abuse, and she's thriving off of it. This may be a whole other video because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I just wanted to point that out. She did make some good points. She's also participating in the trauma dumping and the abuse. But there's some takeaways that we can get from this conversation and what she was saying. And one of my main ones is stop assuming everybody has the same insecurities as you do. We all don't. We are all not living the same life. Are there similarities? Sure. But we all don't have the same struggles. We're all working through different struggles at different times. Some people have already worked through something that you may be going through. So don't assume everybody has the same insecurities that you do. Why don't you go to some woman, I'm sure you probably know at least a couple of women who have the natural hair, and talk to them about how they are able to stand so firmly with their natural hair and feel confident in it, be beautiful in it. And then maybe take it to a therapist and start working through it. Get a therapist. Get somebody who would help you work through your issues. Because right now you're putting out a lot of insecurities, a lot of self-hate, and assuming every other Black woman has the same thing, and we don't. Are there some Black women who do? Sure. But we're not all there. Some of us have already worked through, some people are working through it, and you shouldn't stop their progress or take back the steps that they have already accomplished. So go work on yourself, because your insecurities are showing, ma'am. They're showing all over the internet, and I personally don't think it's a good look. Another takeaway is that natural hair, like any other hair, takes time to grow. It's gonna take you time. You're not gonna start and have inches of hair down your back in a matter of months or even a couple of years. It all depends on where you start from. I started from an almost bald head, so it definitely took me almost 6 years to get to where I am. I know there's people who do a big chop and then they've done a transition period of maybe 2 years. So their big chop, they're already starting at like down here. So it takes them 5 years to get to waist length hair, versus me that started with no hair at all. Take joy in the journey. Time is gonna go by anyway. Before you know it, 2024 will be over. 2025 will start, then 26, then 27, 28, 29, 2030. So if you want to go on a natural hair journey and hope that 5-6 years from now you have long natural hair, start now. Because the longer you wait, the longer it wouldn't be there. But if you start, years later, you will be there. I started my first year of undergraduate college, and then by the time I graduated 4 years later, I had what would be considered long hair, and now it's even longer. So if you want to grow your hair out, start. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take years, at least 3 to 4 years before you see your hair be considered long. And that's not unique to Black hair, type 4 hair. That's everybody's hair. You would just have the added shrinkage that would make it look shorter even when it's long. And the last thing is that we definitely need to continue working on the Black community's perception of good hair, and the way we talk about ourselves, and the way that we see ourselves, and the way that we are trying to progress. This is holding back so many Black women. It is. I saw this video of this girl putting on a wig and her forehead just looked like it was infected, and she was still putting on a wig. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. The clutches that good hair, in the worst definition ever, has on the Black community is really bad. And I hope that we can start changing it, especially for the people who are my age group and younger. We need to go back on that definition and stay away from the chemicals and stay away from so much wigs to hide our hair. Wigs, weaves, extensions, box wig, they're not bad, but too much of it to hide your hair, that's a problem. I'm wishing this woman much needed healing. I think she has gone through a lot, and it is time she sit down with a therapist to unpack so much beyond even hair. I think she has so much trauma she needs to unpack, and it would definitely do her some good. We all need to be careful about what we put on the internet, because your insecurities can be showing, and sometimes vulnerability is good. Other times that's something that we might end up regretting. That's all that I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comment section, what do you honestly think about what she said. I hope you heard it. You can play it over and over. What did you hear? Are we missing something in this conversation? What are your overall thoughts on what she said, what I said? Let me know. I'll be reading all of your comments and I'll be answering them as well. So thank you all so much for coming and having this discussion. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell because I post 2 videos a week. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.